Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are breaking down how the FIU Panthers didn't just win a game, they put the entire conference on notice with a performance that was frankly historic.
Okay, let's just start right here. 55-0. That's the final score against Louisiana Tech. I mean, this number, it tells you everything you need to know. This wasn't just a win. It was a complete and total dismantling. A shutout, a beatdown, you name it. It was a message sent loud and clear.
So the question is, how do you even get here? How does a team execute so perfectly that the other guys don't even get to put a single point on the board? This wasn't just some lucky victory, It was a masterclass in football. And we're going to deconstruct it, piece by piece.
So it all had to start with an offense that was just firing on all cylinders. This whole performance was really led by what you can only call a two-headed monster. A couple of emerging stars who were, well, they were simply unstoppable.
And what's so incredible here is the perfect balance they had. On one hand, you've got your quarterback, Cameron Dyer, who was just unbelievably efficient. I mean, completing almost 90% of his passes for 3 scores, that's surgical. And then you pair that with Joshua Huerta's raw power on the ground, averaging 9 yards a pop and hitting the end zone twice. It's a true pick-your-poison situation for any defense out there.
And here's a huge part of that offensive success. This number, 3. It stands for the 3 touchdown connections between Dyer and his go-to guy, veteran receiver Juju Lewis. This just shows you how lethal they were in the red zone. When FIU got close, they weren't settling for field goals. No way. They were finding the end zone, and Lewis was the man they looked to.
But look, an offense like that, that's only half the story. The other half was a defense that played with this relentless, suffocating aggression. They didn't just refuse to give up a point, they refused to give up an inch. They didn't just bend, they never, ever broke.
And yeah, that number 3, it was just as important on the other side of the ball. This represents the 3 sacks from defensive lineman Ian Jeffries. This guy literally lived in the Louisiana Tech backfield. He completely blew up their game plan and just set this punishing tone for the entire defense.
And all that pressure from guys like Jeffries, well, it leads directly to this, 2. That's for the 2 interceptions the defense just snatched right out of the air. See, when a quarterback has 0 time to think, he makes mistakes, and players like Micah Strickland were right there to make him pay, completely slamming the door on any hope of offensive rhythm.
So what's the big takeaway here? When you put that kind of pressure together with those kinds of takeaways, you get this, a shutout. It's the ultimate sign of dominance in football, a perfect defensive game.
Now, to make a statement this loud, to win 55-0, you can't just be good on offense and defense. You have to win everywhere. And that includes the part of the game that's so often overlooked, the third phase, special teams.
And this right here, this is what a complete team victory really looks like. You had the efficient, balanced offense, you had the aggressive, turnover-forcing defense, and then you had game-changing plays from special teams. FIU just executed flawlessly across the entire board.
And the final piece of that puzzle, the real exclamation point on the whole statement, it came from special teams. Kyle McNeil takes a punt. He finds a tiny seam, and he is gone. 92 yards to the house. It was just an electric play that perfectly captured how thoroughly FIU owned this game.
So here's why all this really matters. A performance this incredible. It didn't just happen out of nowhere, right? This wasn't some fluke. In fact, it's the peak of a powerful trend that's been building up all season long.
Let's just take a look at the season so far. The Panthers are a perfect 4-0, but you gotta look closer. It started with a solid win over Memphis, then a more dominant one against Buffalo, a big rivalry win over FAU, and now this absolute demolition. The margin of victory has gotten bigger and bigger every single week.
And the season-long stats, they absolutely confirm it. Your key players are performing at an elite level. Cameron Dyer has over 10 passing touchdowns, another 6 on the ground, and, get this, 0 interceptions. That's huge. Joshua Huerta's already blown past 550 yards rushing. As a team, they're averaging over 40 points a game. We're talking about one of the most potent offenses in the entire country.
So, when you're 4-0 and you just delivered a statement win like this one, the whole conversation around your team starts to change, right? They've gone from being a nice little surprise to, well, to something much, much bigger.
And after the game, the team's coach really said it perfectly. He praised the team's focus, but his last words hinted at something more, something huge. He said, "The sky's the limit."
And that's really what you should take away from all this. It's that very question. After a performance this complete, this dominant, this decisive, are we watching a true championship contender emerge right before our eyes? Only time will tell, but man, the statement has definitely been made.